He's building rockets to Mars, robots for your living room, and an AI that might outthink us all. And along the way, he ran a chunk of the US government for 4 months, got into a public fight with the president who put him there, and lost. This is the story of the man who might be the most powerful person alive, who nobody actually elected. Elon Musk didn't start with rockets. His first company was called Zip2, an online city guide service he built with his brother in the 1990s, out of a rented office they also slept in. He sold it for over $300 million and used part of that money to co-found what became PayPal. When PayPal sold to eBay, Musk walked away with roughly $180 million. Most people in his position would have called that a career. Musk used almost all of it to do something nobody thought was rational: bet everything on electric cars and orbital rockets. Two industries most investors considered dead ends. It nearly ended him more than once. By December of 2008, both companies were weeks from collapse at the same time. SpaceX had already failed to reach orbit 3 times in a row, its Falcon 1 rocket exploding or veering off course on each attempt. Musk was down to his last funds, reportedly borrowing money for rent. Tesla was burning cash faster than it could raise it, in the middle of a global financial crisis where nobody wanted to invest in car startups. Then within days of each other, both companies were saved. SpaceX's 4th launch finally reached orbit, its last realistic shot before running out of money entirely. And Tesla closed a funding round on Christmas Eve, hours before payroll would have failed. Musk has said publicly that December was the worst month of his life. It's worth sitting with that for a moment. This wasn't a man born into certainty. 2 companies, 1 bad month away from disappearing entirely, and a founder who by his own account was sleeping on friends' couches and burning through what was left of his fortune to keep both alive. Whatever comes next in this story, it didn't start from a position of guaranteed success. By the mid-2020s, that bet had paid off almost beyond comprehension. Tesla forced the entire auto industry to take electric vehicles seriously, and its supercharger network became so dominant that competing automakers, including Ford and General Motors, eventually adopted Tesla's charging standard for their own vehicles, rather than compete with it. SpaceX didn't just enter the space industry, it now launches more payloads to orbit than every country on Earth combined, and its reusable rockets rewrote the economics of spaceflight entirely. The case for Musk as one of history's great builders is real, and it doesn't stop at cars and rockets. Tesla accelerated the world's shift toward electric vehicles by roughly a decade, according to most industry analysts. SpaceX's Starlink brought internet access to remote regions and disaster zones with no other connectivity, including areas cut off during wars and natural disasters. And there's Neuralink, his brain implant company, easy to dismiss as science fiction until you look at what it's actually done. By mid-2026, Neuralink had implanted its device in 26 human patients across 4 countries. Its first recipient, a young man paralyzed from the shoulders down, learned to control a computer cursor with his thoughts alone, faster in testing than some of Neuralink's own engineers could manage with a mouse. The company has since received breakthrough designation from US regulators for a version aimed at restoring speech to people who've lost the ability to talk. And in 2026, Musk folded his AI company, xAI, into SpaceX, in a deal valuing the combined entity in the trillions. It was followed by SpaceX's record-breaking public offering, the largest IPO in history. Whatever you think of him, Musk has repeatedly done what serious people called impossible. But the same instincts that make Musk a builder also make him a liability. Since acquiring Twitter, now X, in 2022, Musk has reshaped what was once one of the world's largest public conversations, largely by his own judgment, reinstating banned accounts, reworking content moderation, and triggering a wave of advertisers to pull spending from the platform over concerns about what content was now allowed to spread. The platform's value reportedly dropped by more than half in the years following the acquisition, even as Musk described the changes as restoring free speech. Then, in 2025, he took it further. He took on a formal US government role, leading the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, with a mandate to slash federal spending. It ended in 4 months, mass layoffs across federal agencies, entire programs dismantled, including most of the U.S. Agency for International Development, a wave of lawsuits challenging whether he even had legal authority to make those cuts, and a final tally far short of the trillions he'd promised to save. He left after a public falling out with President Trump over federal spending policy, one that played out in public on the same platform Musk owned. And while he was in office, Tesla's sales and stock took a real hit. Investors and even longtime customers openly worried his political detour was distracting him from running his own companies, and in some cases, actively boycotting the brand over his political role. That pattern, extraordinary ambition colliding with self-inflicted controversy, shows up again and again across his empire. He's repeatedly restructured his companies through deals critics call self-dealing, folding one Musk-controlled company into another on terms that benefit him directly, and that minority shareholders in the acquired company don't always have real power to challenge. By mid-2026, he'd done it a fourth time, merging XAI into SpaceX, and was openly discussing merging Tesla in as well, raising real governance concerns among shareholders in companies he doesn't fully own, but does fully control. So which is the real Elon Musk? The answer is probably both at the same time, permanently. He's arguably done more than any living person alive today to push the world toward electric transport, reusable space flight, and technology that lets a paralyzed man move a cursor with his mind. He's also shown repeatedly that he treats the companies and institutions he touches, a car company, a rocket company, a social network, a federal agency, less like public trusts and more like extensions of his own will. That's the same trait, pointed in two different directions. History has seen this trait before in other men who reshaped their eras. The industrialists who built America's railroads and steel mills were, at various points, celebrated as visionaries and condemned as robber barons, often for the exact same decisions, depending on who was left standing on which side of them. It rarely resolves cleanly. It rarely resolves quickly. Whether that trait nets out as a net positive for humanity or a warning sign about how much power one person should have without any real check on it isn't a settled question. It might not be settled for decades. It's possible it won't be settled until long after he's gone. The same way historians are still arguing over industrialists who reshaped the world a century ago. Elon Musk has done things that were supposed to be impossible. He's also shown again and again that impossible and unaccountable can look identical from the outside. Builder or gambler with everyone else's stakes? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you want to see who's next, subscribe. New profile every week.